Hey, what is up guys? It's Dello304 here. Today we're going to be making a little bit of an update video on my project car, the 1990 Accord. It's been a little while since I made a video. This thing probably 2 or 3 months. Done a few things to it since the last one, so we're probably just gonna go over those now. Something you may notice about the exteriors, I actually got different bumpers for the car, and if you don't watch my vlogs then you wouldn't know that, but even since I've last made a video of this, I've only gotten the rear bumper, and after I got the front one, I didn't make any sort of video on that. So the front and rear bumpers off this are from a 92-93 facelift model. They don't really look that much different. You'll be able to tell if you see them side by side that the black trim here is a little bit thicker on the older style bumper, and this one is a little bit rounder, but it doesn't really look different per se. And someone may know that, or some of you may know that is, that I painted the bumpers on this car when I first got it, and that didn't really play out because I did it in a time that it was raining outside and it was really humid, so the paint didn't really stick and that didn't come out too well. But I ended up just replacing them. I got these bumpers from Pick and Pull for pretty darn cheap actually. I think I only paid like a total of 50 bucks for both. So yeah, I did it during a time that Pick and Pull was having a sale, so on parts. So it looks the same, you know, it matches, and I think it looks a lot better than it did before, especially with the front bumper. This is the facelift 92-93 bumper that has a little bit of a different grille design. I actually like it. And of course, since I bought the bumper, I simultaneously fixed the broken turn signal thing down there, so that's cool. Both of my turn signals work and it actually looks presentable now. So I did wash the car. I've had it covered for a couple of weeks. I haven't started the car in about 2 weeks now, so this is going to be probably a cold start once I'm done. But the last time I was at this car, I did wash it. I started covering it because you could see that we do have some marks in the paint still, and those mostly came out on the hood. I just kind of rubbed them out with my finger, but you could see in other parts of the car that it wasn't so lucky, especially the trunk. I tried to work on this for a long time and I couldn't really get these marks out at all. So you could see the heavy scratching in the clear coat too. This paint is trashed, but I mean, I didn't want it to get more trashed. So these marks are here to stay, unfortunately, but I am going to start covering the car when it's sitting here not being driven. So hopefully that'll minimize the amount of damage from the trees and everything around here. Of course, I did wash the car right before I covered it last time, and I also cleaned the interior a little bit. I'll go over that when I get in there. But I put some tire shine on, so the tires look pretty good. Of course, these tires they only have about 2,000 miles on them, so they look pretty new to begin with. But at the same time, I mean, yeah, the car looks a lot better than it did when I first got it, that's for sure. Things I still need to do on the exterior. Still need to replace that mirror that's bothering me. I would like to buy new wheels, like just entirely new wheels for this car at some point. And I'm probably just going to go with the same 15-inch wheels that are on there now, because I don't want to buy new tires since I just bought those a couple thousand miles ago. So they're brand new tires, I may as well use them. So if I do end up getting new wheels for this car, I'm just going to go with the same 15-inch. They don't look too bad anyway. So let's go ahead and detail a little bit of the interior work I've done. Someone may know, or a lot of you may remember that when I first got this car, it was pretty disgusting. So, you know, I did do some work on the seats. I used some Turtle Wax interior cleaner with a brush and everything, and I wipe or scrub the crap out of the seats. You may notice that while they're faded, they're definitely a lot cleaner than they were before. So you can see the cleanliness of the seats really shows, and it really makes the seats and just the interior look a lot better. I did also do the rear. I didn't have enough in the can to do all four, so I mostly just worked on this side, but there's a good comparison right there. All this I scrubbed, and this is stuff that I haven't touched, so that would be a comparison for you as far as the seat cleaning goes. And I did, since I had it, I'm not usually a huge fan of Armor All, you know, the spray-on stuff for your dashboard and whatever, but I didn't end up using that on my other car, but I tried it on this one, and it actually made the dashboard look a lot better. Of course, I didn't just spray the crap out of it. I sprayed a little bit on a rag, rubbed it in, and you can see that it actually just gives it a little bit of a shine, which is pretty much what it needed. I don't like when people overdo it with that stuff. It makes it all like sticky and gross. But yeah, that's something I did end up doing. Of course, I wiped down the interior as well. I do need to vacuum the car, but that'll come at some point when I actually care. As far as interior stuff goes, of course, that door handle works. This one's still messed up. I do have the spare door handle in there, but it kept falling off, so I just took it out. I need to do something about the way this is mounted in here. And I also need to find the spare screw that holds that in there. Or actually, what the problem actually was is that I don't have the little plastic piece that retains the rod in here. So pretty much it slipped out and then the door stopped opening. So that was an issue. I'm gonna need to fix that at some point, but as of right now, I don't really care too much. You just tug on that rod and it'll open the door, so whatever. I do eventually want to get this car to a point where it looks good. I mean, it looks a lot better than it did when I first got it, but it's still not, you know, the most beautiful fourth generation Accord one has ever seen. So I do want to fix that at some point. As far as the mileage goes, I haven't put too many miles on this car since I got it. I got it with 262,928 miles or something like that. And now we're at 265,400 almost. So for the 4 or 5 months I've had it, I haven't been driving it that much, but that's good because it keeps insurance costs down, because I'm only going to drive this thing 5,000 or 6,000 miles a year. So that'll keep the cost down for sure. So without further ado, I've pretty much talked about everything I've done to the car. As far as mechanically, I guess we can pop the hood and talk about that, because I did do a couple of things there too. Of course, we still have my speaker wire that's powering this speaker. Some of you may remember that this door speaker was dead, so I just bought a new pair of Pioneer door speakers and put them in. That's what this wire's for, because the stock stereo wire for some reason wasn't working, so I just had to run a new wire, but it's no big deal. It looks kind of ghetto, but then again, this whole car does, so it doesn't really matter. So with those speakers, the stereo does sound a lot better than it used to, so not too big a deal there. Let's go ahead and pop the hood. I do apologize if I sound somewhat out of breath. I'm not really sure why, because I haven't really done anything today, but I don't know, whatever. So as far as under the hood stuff, of course, we still have the F22. I did clean, or I tried to spray some of this stuff down with brake cleaner, especially this area, so you can now see the engine stamp. And I sprayed down the throttle body, but eventually I do want to get this entire thing steam cleaned, because it has leaked oil for quite a while, and now that I have some of the oil leaks fixed, I do want to steam clean it and see if there's anything left. But as far as mechanicals, I did actually, of course, when I first got the car, I did have the front brakes redone, but in addition to that, shortly after, this is only actually about 600 miles ago or so, probably a couple months ago now though, I did have the brake master cylinder replaced, and I did have the rear brake shoes replaced, so that's cool. I had actually Chris's friend help me out with that, because it's kind of a long story, but at the time Chris was borrowing the car, and you know, he offered to get that fixed for me in return for letting him borrow the car. So that's what pretty much happened there. So, and of course, in doing that, they bled the entire brake system, so I got brand new fluid going through, you know, the whole brake system, which is nice, because the old master cylinder, the brake fluid was so disgusting. Like it wasn't even brake fluid, it was like gunk and sludge, so that was really bad. So we got that flushed, everything works. The brake pedal, of course, is still a little bit soft, but I think that's just a kind of a 90s car thing. Of course, it's soft compared to my new car, but other than that, not a big deal. This is broken. It's funny because like every car I've had, this has been broken on except for my new one. My Eclipse had the exact same problem, where this little Y splitter thing here just ends up breaking. So when you spray the washer fluid, it ends up just spraying it down in there, but I'll have to get that fixed at some point. Right now I don't care too much though. So I'll go ahead and, oh, and also in addition to that, I almost forgot, I did flush the automatic transmission fluid, or I didn't flush it, but I just did a drain and fill, obviously, so that's nice. Of course I used Honda fluid and everything, but I just did a drain and fill, I think it was like 2.5 quarts, and it actually made the shifting performance of this car a lot better than it used to be. This car used to shift really rough, which is what I thought was a pretty normal thing for this 4th gen Accord here. That's kind of just how the Honda automatics were. But I did a drain and fill of the fluid, and it actually made a pretty big difference in how the car shifted. It shifts noticeably smoother. It's obviously not like a new car or anything. It still shifts kind of hard, but it's a little bit smoother than it was before. So that was good. I'm glad I did that. So now, without further ado, I'll go ahead and close the hood and start her up. Of course, it's been a couple of weeks, so it's going to be a completely cold start, because I'm about to go drive this thing just to put some miles on it, since it's been a little bit. It's been a minute since I drove it last. So let me go ahead and start her up for you. Still starts up a little bit rough. I think that has to do with just needs plugs and ignition wires or something. So I'll get that looked at eventually, but that's just the startup. It's perfectly fine when you have it started, so it's not a huge deal. It's just something I want to look at eventually. This thing probably needs a fuel filter too, which on this car the fuel filter is under the intake, so that'll be a fun job, but those things will come with time. For now, the car runs well enough that I'm happy with how it drives. And pretty much to sum up this video, because I'm pretty much just going to end it here, I just wanted to give you guys a little bit of a longer look at the 1990 Accord now that I've fixed pretty much all of the issues with it and made it look a little nicer. And yeah, I'm pretty happy with the way this car turned out. It kind of was a little bit frustrating at some points because, you know, just felt like things kept going wrong or something with this car, and I just kind of got frustrated. But you know, I think the car is pretty much good to go for now. Of course, it's a project car, so it's never really done, but for now, I'm pretty happy with the car. Again, I would like to get new wheels, just something, you know, a little bit that looks a little bit better than those chromies. I don't really like those much, and I would like to get a rear trunk spoiler. I like the stock spoilers that come on these, so I might try to pick one of those up at some point. Of course, I do need to do a little bit of an oil change on it. Of course, it's not going to focus on that, but yeah, I'm within like 700 miles, but it's almost been 6 months since I got the car, so I'm going to do the oil change again here pretty soon. Anyway, aside from that, I'd like to thank you guys for watching the video. The car is pretty good nowadays, and I pretty much said everything I can say about the car. So I'd like to thank you guys for watching this video, and I'll see you guys in the next one.